The Cristo Redeemer, one of the most recognizable monuments in the country of Brazil. Voted as one of the new 7 wonders of the world and visited by nearly 2 million people each year. You have heard and seen it all, but the real question is it actually worth visiting? Or is it just another overhyped tourist trap not worth the bacon? What's good, everybody? This is CP and I'll be your crappy tour guide for today. Let me break things down to you with my honest opinions. And for those of you who are dead set on going, let me give you some game-changing tips that will make your travel experience 89.6% better. So let's not waste any more time and 走起吧. While staying on Copacabana and literally living the life, I surprisingly found myself in a major dilemma. Like many, I realized I loved the beach life so much. I wanted to stay there forever. But due to limited funds and vacation time, I knew I had to find an efficient way to better allocate my hours in Rio. So I came up with a game plan to hit 2 of the most popular tourist spots on the same day with the 5-hour time frame. If executed perfectly, I would save a day in Rio and give myself even more time to do absolutely nothing on the beach. Obviously, this plan is not impossible to execute, as many travelers have done it before in the past. But at the same time, a lot could go wrong, especially if you don't time things perfectly. 2 major obstacles for travelers in Rio is 1. Being stuck in busy traffic, and 2. Not being able to avoid large crowds during peak hours. Let's face it, who wants to wait in line forever just to get one selfie before being pushed away by a large crowd of tourists? So being the smart guy that I am, I spent countless hours doing my homework and came up with the perfect plan to help you finesse your way around all that. So, ladies and gents, here was my game plan. Simply put, I found an efficient plan to literally kill 2 birds with 1 stone. This allows a regular tourist like me to hit both the Sugarloaf Mountain and the Cristo Redeemer on the same day. The main idea is to avoid peak hours for both locations, which usually happens around 10 AM to 3 PM. So in my humble opinion, the best combination is to visit Sugarloaf in the morning, around 8:30 to 10:30, and head over to the Christ in the afternoon sometime after 3 PM. That way you get to enjoy the sunrise on Sugarloaf and see the amazing sundown of Rio on top of Corcovado. I'm not gonna lie, but that's a pretty solid bulletproof plan to follow. You feeling me? To see how I was able to successfully execute the first part of my game plan and my epic visit to Sugarloaf, make sure you check out the video with the link right here or right here. And oh yeah, don't forget to subscribe right now, and I'll love you forever. I promise. After successfully visiting the Sugarloaf Mountain in the morning, I now moved on to the second half of my game plan, visiting the famous Cristo Redeemer in the afternoon. There are obviously several ways to get there, but I feel like taking an Uber is the best option for most people, especially if you're traveling in a small group and want to save time. In my case, it cost me about 22 reais each way from Copacabana, and the ride was about 25 minutes each way. In the end, I saved myself over 1 hour of commute and waiting time. If you do the math, it works out to less than $4 per person if you travel in a group of 3, and will be even cheaper if you travel in a group of 4. Even though public transit is cheaper, but we can't forget that time is valuable. As a wise man once said, a man who dares to waste 1 hour of time has not discovered the value of life. After a very enjoyable Uber ride with no heavy traffic, I finally arrived at the Corcovado tram station to go up and see the Christ. I even went the extra mile and booked my ticket online so I could skip the lineup and head straight in. But wait, there was no line. It looks like my game plan was working out perfectly. I feel like a genius. Ha 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 ha. Or is there a reason why the place was so quiet? I did see a police car out there earlier. Could it be shut down for a reason? After doing some detailed investigation, it turns out that Mother Nature wasn't cooperating. Apparently the clouds were covering the Christ and the visibility up there wasn't good, so people couldn't take good pictures. Oh no! What should I do? Could this ruin my entire plan? Do I have to come back another day? Nah. In order to complete the mission, I decided to go for it anyways. I'm not here to waste anybody's time and I didn't want to recharge my camera for another day, so I decided to go for it. It's a bit cloudy today, but I'm gonna take my chance. Ladies and gentlemen, I sincerely apologize, but right after getting on the tram, my excitement got the best of me. I accidentally changed my camera to time-lapse mode and lost a lot of good footage. As you can see, some of the best footage turned out into complete garbage, but nonetheless I was smart enough to capture some footage on my cell phone and still think they look pretty amazing. So moving on, I found another travel hack on the tram. If it makes any sense, it's better to sit facing backward as you go up. Many tourists don't realize the seats facing the right way actually gives them the worst views in the house. So once you get on the tram, don't fight for those seats, but instead quietly get the seats facing backwards and get the last slap. Just like this smart guy right here. Ladies and gentlemen, we have finally made it to the top. I'm not gonna lie, but everything up there lived up to the hype. Just look at these views and tell me it's not worth it. In my opinion, only two things could make the experience less enjoyable. One, the big crowds, and two, the weather. But going in the afternoon, the crowd wasn't big at all and the sun was coming down, so I wasn't getting cooked in open air. Whoa, I couldn't believe it, but I got to share the platform with two of the world's biggest sports stars. Not a big deal. Originally, I was planning to stay up there for about half an hour, but it seemed like every 10 minutes I was getting a different feel of the Christ and the city below. So I decided to wear out my welcome and stay up there as long as possible. So yeah, it's getting pretty dark up here, but it's still amazing. This is the sunset in Rio. Wow, let me take you guys through. This is pretty amazing. Sunset in Rio, muy bonito. 太美丽了，你们看看。Hello. As you can see, it started to really get dark near the end, but the views were amazing. One last look at the Redeemer. This thing is beautiful. Ooh, I think I see lightning in the background, but I don't know. It's getting awfully quiet down here, so I think I might be the last tram, so we'll see how that goes. I might be one of the last persons up here. It's getting really dark up here, so we'll see how it goes. There's like 2 people left. It's getting a little scary. There's only one shuttle bus left, and then hopefully the train's still open. So let's check it out. If you enjoyed this video and want me to be your crappy tour guide at other tourist destinations, make sure you click the link right here. So let's not waste any more time and 走起吧。